So the next part is to create a layer, an element of text. So you could use a couple words, you could use a few words, you could use a short phrase. I just happened to find something around my house that um, actually was a book title, but I thought it fit pretty well. And I typed it out on a couple of different layers because I wanted to go across the entire image. However you do it is up to you. You could experiment with things like changes in size, point size, like going larger, some smaller. You can go up here and go beyond 72 points by just typing in a larger number, 150. So it depends on what kind of word or words you use. But the idea for this project is to be layering things. And you could find different ways to layer your words um, by, again, using the opacity. But before we get into the opacity and setting that for all the layers, I think we should just create every layer that we need first. So what I'm going to do is leave my letters here, or the words that I've typed, um, and show you that the next thing that you do, I'm going to actually turn these off to show you. The next thing is to create some kind of a pattern. And you're limited to creating a pattern with the keyboard. So what you want to do is create a new layer. So you go down here, create a new layer, use the type tool. Where did it go? There it is. And it really could be anything. But it should be a consistent pattern. So it could be something as simple as this that spans the entire length or width of the image. It could be smaller also and repeat, but the idea is that this should repeat. It should create a quite a large area. So if you have a smaller type, um, what you could do, what I suggest you do is whatever you have is to type it across the entire image. So I'm going to go with a bit of a smaller size here. So until you get to the other side of the image, I'll just do that. And then to create a pattern, instead of typing this a million times, what you would do is take this layer over here, drag it on top of the new layer symbol, and you now have two layers of the same thing. You have a copy, and you can bring that, oops, and you can bring that copy down. Then once you have two layers, you can hold the Shift key and select both layers and drag both of those layers down. So now we're creating a copy of two rows, and you can now select all four layers, sorry, and duplicate those, bring those down. So what you want is a fairly large area to cover a lot of the image. So it doesn't have to cover every square inch, but you want to have plenty of layers of this pattern, or plenty of area with this pattern in it. You can also vary the pattern. So this pattern creates, like overlapped, creates different patterns. It's kind of up to you. So I'm just going to turn off a couple of those at the bottom. And once you decide you have, instead of keeping all of these layers, what you can do is select them all when you finally have the pattern the way you want it, and go up here and go to merge layers. So now you have one layer that consists of a whole pattern. Now it's up to you to layer your words, your pattern, and your images so that they can all be seen to varying degrees, right? So you can use things like, you can use elements of color, change the color of the type. I'm going to bring in some blue, maybe kind of a lighter blue. Oops. Anyhow, you get the idea. So you can vary the opacity of the layers. You can change color and size in order to differentiate the words. You definitely need to make sure that you layer the images so that we can see them all on, so that we can see all the images so that they're all coming through somehow. So I've got one of these layers at 28%, another one at 24%. Maybe I'll bring that one up a little bit. So you can stagger the opacity amounts to get different effects. And you can move your images around however you'd like. And so that's the way you do the layers and the text and the pattern. Arranging that is all up to you.